I have not once come across any man who encouraged women to be butch. Yeah, show them what you're made of, girl. Flex those muscles. Do that walk. Wear those type of clothes. Bang that hat to the back. Walk with, buff your shoulders out. What is going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys all being here. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, and welcome to my channel. I encourage you guys all to follow me on these platforms you see all mentioned up here and down here on these tickers right here. Really appreciate it if you do that, all right? Thank you guys for taking your time out of your day to listen to this. And oh my goodness, folks and folklaramas. This is ridiculous. We shouldn't even have to be talking about this right now. And you heard what I said at the beginning. Where are the feminists? Where are the feminists? Where are the women who fought to get women's rights and right to vote, right to equal pay, blah, blah, blah? Where are y'all at in this? Where are y'all? I mean, can we get the hashtag Me Too people out there or something? Nobody? Nobody want to step up and help protect these women, right? What are you talking about, Ty? You guys have to hear this because this is really, really sad that we have arrived at a point in society as human beings that we are allowing this to go on where women are not even feeling safe anymore because biological men are invading their spaces. Bathrooms, sports, men are invading. Who let that happen? Watch this video real quick and we'll get back to it.
I am here to protect women, girls. My God, why do I have to apologize for that? We spent decades trying to protect women. And you know what? We won. We won. So I will not apologize now or ever for trying to protect my daughters and women in sports. And that's what this hearing was about. Protecting women. So you know what? I am a woman, and let me tell you, hear me roar, because I will not stop protecting women. You want to know why? Because we have rights too. Women have rights too. And our daughters have rights too. Frankly, I am mystified by the Biden administration's shameless failures to protect women's rights. We talk about protecting women's rights like that's such a bad thing, that's so evil to protect women's rights. Have we lost our minds? The Biden administration is weakening Title IX by allowing all males who identify as women to participate in women's sports. Okay, identify as women. How about just be a woman? Why can't I protect my women? Why can't I protect my daughters?
Compete against women in sports is just crazy. I love what Governor Huckabee Sanders said in response to the State of the Union. She said, the divide in America today is normal versus crazy. And this is one of those obvious divides. It is crazy to think it's okay to let guys compete against girls in sports. That is just a given. The whole country knows that. Anyone with common sense understands that. But I'm also more concerned, or maybe not more concerned, just as concerned with what happens if you speak out against it, which is exactly what happened to Miss Russell.
Virgin Islands.
So you're an accomplished coach, but because you said what was normal, you got fired. Is that right?
Because I said what was normal, it was not liked.
Yeah,
and I was canceled.
I shouldn't say fired. Yeah, you were canceled because you weren't allowed to coach anymore. They moved you somewhere else. I read your testimony last night. They moved you somewhere else in the athletic department or in the university at Oberlin. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah, and I always tell people, don't think they won't come after you, because I don't think you're not some crazy right-wing conservative Republican, are you, Miss Russell? You're just a coach. In fact, you even used the term. What did you say? You're the hippie love coach. That's not exactly how you describe normally not how you describe Republicans. They understood that. They're willing to come, but that wasn't good enough. This is the part that is so frightening. It's never good enough for the left. It's always got to be every single thing they want, or we're coming after you. Even if you're the hippie love coach, they're coming after you. And that's what they did to you. I mean, this is how the left, this is how the cancel culture mob operates. It's a total attack. So this is bigger than, as bad as it is what Miss Gaines described, what she had to go through. And if I remember your story right, Miss Gaines, you won, but you weren't able to be number one because of this Leah Thomas individual. You actually won the. I mean, bad enough as that is, this attack on the First Amendment and your right to speak out against that is just as bad and just as scary, because that's across the board. And I tell people all the time, you have 5 liberties under the First Amendment. Your right to practice your faith, your right to assemble, your right to petition the government, free press, free speech. The most important one, by far, is your right to talk. Because if you can't talk, you can't practice your faith, you can't share your faith, you can't petition your government. And you spoke out against something that anyone with any common sense knows is ridiculous, and they came after you. That's why this panel, and Chairman, thank you for doing this. This panel and this subject is so darn important, because it's fundamental to who we are as a country. You can't have a country if you're only allowed to say what the left says is okay. And for people who stand up and defend that, they need to, Miss Goss Graves, I don't know, I wasn't able to be here for all of this, but my guess is you're defending this idea that guys can compete against girls. Maybe not, I didn't hear it. But don't think they won't come after you at some point, too. I mean, here's how bad the left is. The left, Dianne Feinstein, liberal, iconic senator for the left, wasn't even good enough for the left. It was the Dianne Feinstein Elementary School in San Francisco. They went back and found something she said 30 years ago, and they said, we got to rename the school. So no one is safe. If they can go after Miss Russell, 27 years coaching for saying something that everybody knows is true, then come after anybody. And that is a dangerous world to live in. I didn't mean to speak that long. I actually wanted to let you guys talk. And Ms. Gaines or Ms. Perry, if you want to say something, go right ahead.
I think what we're seeing is sort of this philosophical devolution on truth. We've gone from an ontological perspective on truth. Truth is truth, no matter how you feel, to a consequentialist approach on truth. Truth is truth so long as it doesn't hurt your feelings. The law doesn't care about feelings. The law is the law, so that we have a method of American constitutional governance. And Title IX and the Constitution are very cut and dry. It doesn't matter whose feelings are hurt. And if there are indeed less than 1% of individuals in the country who are transgender, as Representative Garcia mentioned, why the urgency from the Biden Department of Education to suddenly upend 50 years of civil rights protections for biological women who benefit from Title IX? That is throwing the entire canon of civil rights law on its head.
Thank you all.
In her sport. So I'm very thankful. I can't believe we're here, though. I can't believe we're holding a hearing today. As a matter of fact, I can't believe many things. Today we have something called gender-affirming care in our country, which is really cutting off the body parts of people in order to make them feel like they're another gender, which is completely wrong. And this is something being pushed on kids, cutting off their breast, castrating them, which really will lead to lifelong debilitating conditions, physical conditions, and mental illness. Hopefully not suicide, but unfortunately that is the case. Reproductive health care has been mentioned here. Even the term reproductive justice, which is really capital punishment for innocent babies. There's nothing reproductive about abortion. It's murder. But one thing I'd like to talk about right now is the Gallup poll that was done in May of 2023. 69% say transgender athletes should play on teams that match their birth gender or biological sex. But guess what? That's actually gone up because the left is losing the battle. Because in 2020, May of 2020, the exact same Gallup poll was done, and it was only 62% that agreed that transgender athletes should play on teams that match their birth gender or biological sex. So watching biological men dominating real women in sports is moving America's opinion to defend biological women and Title IX. This is a losing issue for Democrats because America fully agrees we have to protect women's sports. It's beautiful. In 2013, Serena Williams stated, if I were to play Andy Murray, I would lose 6-0 in 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. No, it's true. It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster and they serve harder, they hit harder. It's just a different game.
So sounds like she doesn't think she could beat men either. But let's talk about some of your comments. You said that this is attacking and dehumanizing on trans. Miss Goss Graves, how do you think Miss Gaines felt? Do you think she felt dehumanized being forced to undress in front of men in her sports or attacked?
Here's what I think.
That's a yes or no question.
But if I could
Being
answer
forced to
the
undress
question,
in front of a
Madam
man,
Chairman,
isn't that dehumanizing or
I could
attacking?
answer this question, Madam Chairman, because I actually think this is really, really important. The issue of privacy in locker rooms and in bathrooms, there's a wide range of
So
ways
you feel like
for
Ms. Gaines should have
schools
had privacy?
to address that. You could put up a curtain, you could put up a door, you could have rotations. There's
I reclaim my time, Ms. Goss Graves. Ms. Gaines, did you feel attacked and dehumanized? Ms. Gaines, did you feel attacked and dehumanized?
I certainly did. And in swimming locker rooms, there are no curtains, there are no stalls, there are no doors.
But there could be curtains.
This is I reclaim my time. It's Ms. Gaines right now.
That would be restructuring how I've competed my entire 18 years of competing for what we've described in this hearing today as such a small percentage of the population. We would restructure and uproot what we're used to and what works and allows us to be. I think we can all agree a locker room in general is not a comfortable place, even of course in dressing in front of all women. But growing up a swimmer in that environment, again for 18 years of my life, you become comfortable being vulnerable in that environment. And my teammates and my competitors, we had our vulnerability stripped from us by the leaders of the NCAA, and again, those who implemented this policy.
Thank you, Ms. Gaines. I yield.
Yeah, y'all heard all that, right? Yeah, you see how frustrated they are? One thing that gets me is it definitely needs to be a whole lot more, which it is, but YouTube is suppressing it. Individuals like myself, real men who are standing up for women. Look what we did to Budweiser, man. That don't get me wrong, women helped out with that too, but it was men that got the attention. We stood up not because of the fact that Dylan Mulvaney was this tutti fruity, fresh and Rudy cootie booty duty individuals. Hi guys, so I'm on my 15th day being a woman. Oh my god, and I don't know why I cry all the time. Dude, make believe. All he doing is make believe. He's like how you were when you were a little kid. When I'm He-Man, I'm the Power Ranger. He's just making a mockery of you, and that's what pissed a lot of men off. Him and his little beard thing. I got some Budweiser. What is March Madness? I thought it was like a thing where people like are mad and like out in the streets marching. And I didn't know it was a game, but it has the Budweiser guy. This stupid stuff. So guess what? Men got pissed off and completely wrecked him. Why? Because we felt he was making a mockery of women, like women don't know about sports. Like women don't know what March Madness is. That's what pissed a lot of people off about this, right? We need more of that. There needs to be a whole lot more men standing up for women when it comes to biological men getting into these women's spaces and dominating them there. Sad part about it is the comment that I made before I showed you guys this clip. Who allowed them to do it? Who encouraged them to do it? A lot of radical feminists. When y'all out there and y'all encourage these men to be all feminine and effeminized and slay, do you, boo? Y'all, this is so crazy that women, y'all would jump on board and encourage men to be trans, to be gay, to be feminine. Y'all encourage that. You don't really see I'm telling you, I can be wrong, but I'm just telling you in the worlds and the states that I have residence in, encourage women to be butch. Yeah, show them what you're made of, girl. Flex those muscles. Do that walk. Wear those type of clothes. Bang that hat to the back. Walk with, buff your shoulders out. I've never seen any man do that. What I have seen is us men stand back and be like, look at this chick right here trying to we laugh about it. We go, okay, good. See the reason why, because the way our stature is, the way we walk, that's part of our genetic and biological makeup, right? That's what we do. Same thing with women. The way you guys are, the thing that attracts men to women, the way y'all move and everything, that attracts us. You have to fake that to do that. Women have to fake that. But my point is, you don't see men encouraging women, yeah, go on and get into the football, girl. You got the body stature. Look at you. Some of the most built-looking athletes out there still would not even remotely closely even compete with the most basic man. For example, Serena Williams. She was a beast when playing with other women. When they show Serena Williams playing against other women, it's like, man, this woman is a beast. But when she played against the most basic, talented high schooler, how is he beating her? The women's soccer team. You see them competing against other women's soccer teams. You're like, oh, man, it was a time where the United States women's soccer team was just putting it on, man. But they got beat by high schoolers. And it wasn't even no competition. I cannot wait if that video does happen where they have a bet out there to where they would take they'll take a talented high school basketball team of boys and have them play against the best WNBA team, and the boys are going to mop the floor with those women. My point is, who is encouraging these men to get into these women's spaces? It's crazy to me that when you see these men, it's sad for one that men want to be into these women's spaces, want to be in these women's bathrooms, and will fight to be in their locker rooms and all that. Then you have real men who are stepping up trying to protect them from doing that. But because of the radical feminists and all that, I don't need a man. We don't need your protection. We don't need this. And guess what? I hate to say it this way, but I'm glad men took their hands off. And I made a comment earlier saying, well, man, how come, men are not jumping in and defending? You want to know why? Because a lot of you women said y'all don't need us. We don't need no man. If something comes up, we going to call the police, which most likely that police officer that's going to show up is going to be a man. So right now it's sad because you got individuals like myself who have integrity. I don't care what they're saying. We need to protect our women. Although they may not think it's the best thing for them, we know it's the best thing for them. For them to want to allow men to be into their sports, in the locker rooms, in the dressing rooms, all this and that and the third. Grown men wanting to go into the YMCA, into the girls' locker room. No way. I don't care. I get y'all say, well, no, let them go in there so they're going to start complaining about these men. Well, y'all wanted them to be in there. Y'all encourage these men to be like that. So what sense does it make that the very rights that y'all fought for to get your own sports, your own spaces, all these things like that, for y'all to encourage men to turn right back around and completely destroy y'all and put y'all right back down? I don't care how you look at it. It's still going to be men. Oh, my God. Did y'all even hear me? What a lot of women fought for. This radicalized movement allowed those men to get right back in there and completely push y'all right back down. And when it all comes back down to it, the thing that we're talking about right now, what they're fighting up against, is what y'all women always fought against. Y'all want to have your own thing. Y'all want to have women rights. And yet, I told y'all all the time, rights, if you know them, they can't be taken from you, but you definitely can give them over. And that's exactly what that radicalized movement did. Gave those rights over for men to go back in there and dominate. And now the same complaint is happening all over again. Women want their rights to be able to be women in their own locker room, in their own dressing room, in their own sport. They have to ask for it again. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this, ladies and gentlemen. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, 5 seconds. Hit that thumbs up button so this video can be circulated within the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate it if you do that. Appreciate it, folks. All right, last thing we're going to tell you guys to do, y'all know what it is. Get into the cell phone, right? Get into your cell phones. Encourage somebody in your contact list to subscribe to this channel after checking it out. Really appreciate it if you do that. Let me know what you guys' thoughts is on this, because I definitely want to know. If there's any of you that know the context behind this and where the genesis of all of it, where it all originated from with this movement that's wanting to have men in these women's spaces, drop it in here, because there are a lot of people that want to read this, all right? I am Ty Smith, modern Renaissance man, hoping and praying that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing, and most of all, I pray every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.